Hey, Jimmy Valentine, that was a really great game-winning score you had there at the sporting event.
Yeah, thanks. I really appreciate that. You can look for that card really soon at Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics. They got tons of sports memorabilia.
Jimmy Valentine, RKO Radio News. Jimmy, what makes Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics your favorite comic store in the Colorado area?
I'm telling you, forget about it. A comic collector like me, I can save 20% on a hold slot. Duh. Plus, it's hard for me. I'm on the road all the time. If I want the Amazing Spider-Man and I'm not around, it's in my hold slot.
Jimmy Valentine, what do you have to say about your recent allegations about steroid use?
I'm not going to answer that question, but I am going to tell you that if I want to get Magic the Gathering cards, I go to Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics. The little square Jimmy Jr., he loves those. So go to 6700 Wadsworth Boulevard in Nevada, Colorado. They'll take really good care of you.
Hold on, Jimmy, one more question.
Wait,
no, don't go yet.
Does this sound familiar? You're interested in purchasing that new action figure, but aren't sure if it's worth it?
Well, come check out PlasticExplosion.com, where you can go to find all the latest and greatest action figure previews and reviews.
Every week they'll be bringing you reviews and picks from your favorite collections, such as
DC Universe, Masters of the Universe Classics, Marvel Universe,
Star Wars, Transformers,
and many more.
Come check us out at PlasticExplosion.com. That's PlasticExplosion.com.
For barbecue that can't be beat, try Birdman Barbecue Sauce. Available and original and spicy. These robust, full-flavor sauces have the awesome power to kick your taste buds in their face. And for that smoking taste on everything you eat, try new Birdman Smokin' Rub. Caution! Meat left unrubbed may suffer from flavor performance anxiety. You can pick up Birdman Barbecue at local area Ace Hardware stores, Ruff's Barbecue in Golden, and the Danny Cash Hot Shop off Broadway. You can also like us on Facebook at Birdman BBQ.
Welcome to the podcast. I am Ryan. To my right is
James.
And this week on our incredible filmmaking interviews, we have Dylan Kohler, who wrote and directed a short called Chili, which was at the Telluride Horror Show, which was my favorite short from the show. And he was so cool to sit down with us because I was so worried, just like Raphael, he had a great short too. I'm always so worried that I have to watch these movies and sit down with these filmmakers and pretend that I like them. But I really like this one.
And he was the first one. He sort of sat down and warmed us all up, and all of a sudden we were like at a convention, ready to go. It was really neat.
Exactly. The cool thing about Chili is it's kind of a film noir. It's not straight up horror. It starts off as kind of a 1950s educational film about refrigeration.
Yeah.
And there's a talking ice cube in it that's animated and voiced by Tom Kenny, who is the voice of SpongeBob SquarePants. And it's really good. And if you want to hear someone who made it talk about it, then please listen to Dylan because he probably tells the story better than I do. Awesome. Welcome to the Telluride Horror Show again. I am Ryan. That's James. That's Brad. And we are sitting with...
I'm Dylan Kohler.
Dylan Kohler, you did a really cool short film here called Chili.
Thank you.
Do you want to talk to us a little bit about the process of making Chili?
Sure. Let me see. I've been making short films with some friends of mine. We have sort of a collective group called Collab, and a few of us went to film school together. Some others didn't, and it was just like a way to practice. And somebody will come with an idea, we'll write it, and then we'll do it. This one got a little more elaborate than the rest of them because... it was the first one that was going to involve animation, so I knew, all right, I treat this a little more seriously. And I really liked the idea. Had the idea, and then we shot it over a weekend after some planning, obviously.
Yeah, what really struck me about it is it starts off as like kind of an educational film. And it's like cute. And I'll be honest, when we were coming up here and we were looking at the program, yours was the film I wanted to see because of
my new best friend Ryan.
Right, because the still, I'm like, this seems really out of place in a horror show.
Yeah, it's odd. In fact, it's gotten most traction now with these horror things, and it's funny because it's definitely sort of horrific. But I had approached it as far more just being weird, than something horror. I scare easily, so I don't do horror movies that much. But yeah, it's to me what fascinated me about doing it most was the idea of going from that educational thing into film noir, and obviously it gets really dark at the end. And the other part of that is not only can I change, would it be possible to change genres, but I wanted to know, can I really sort of screw up the tone, and will the audience still hang with it?
Were you inspired by Tales from the Crypt by any chance? Because to me it kind of has that feel where the actor in it, he portrays a guy who you know there's something wrong with him.
Yeah.
And it starts off kind of, silly and goofy, but then it takes this really dark turn. And you can see it as soon as Chili mentions something about keeping meat cold. Yeah. And the guy's mood changes instantly.
Isn't it great? My lead is Frank Pichulo, and he nailed it right from the casting session. I think I was inspired probably from Tales from the Crypt, but also The Twilight Zone. And as I was doing research from those educational films, I mean, they're already sort of heightened. They have their own weird vibe to them. So it doesn't take much to kind of tweak the weirdness.
Yeah.
And it's sort of fun to actually watch it in these horror festivals, too, because the audiences are so tuned to, all right, bring me the weirdness. What's going to happen here? And when you don't, it's a bit more of a surprise.
Too, because you don't, the horror doesn't come from, violence. It doesn't come from a monster.
Right.
It seems like it's kind of rooted, besides the talking ice cube, in some sort of a reality where you relate to this guy and you think he's just going to commit suicide. That's what I got. And then it takes a really dark turn. And to me, I think that's more scary than just, I'm going to rip your guts out.
Oh, thank you. That actually scares me more. And boy, that's a great tribute, because the stuff that I find most haunting is the stuff that's very psychological, that you can see, now I see the whole backstory, where you ask the audience to fill in all the blanks and do the work. Because then, and I mean, the script is obviously very fantastical with the talking ice cube and so on. But it all sort of makes sense, too, if you look at it, I hope.
Oh, yeah. I mean, because, right away, even with the title card, you see the educational part, and the gentleman who plays the Ice Cube is a very prolific voice actor.
That is Tom Kenny, and boy, were we lucky to have him. And his wife, Jill Talley. It was sort of a 2-for-1 special. I used to do animation a long time ago. I worked for Disney, was very low in the ranks, but people kept asking me, are you going to do something that involves animation? I thought, well, maybe I could do something, but my animation is my skills have degraded so much. What could I do that'd be the simplest thing to do? And I thought, I could do a cube. And thank heavens I didn't end up doing the animation. My friend Ken Duncan, his studio, ended up doing the animation. Did an amazing, world-class job. And in the course of working with them, through their network, they actually know Tom Kenny, who's done the voice of SpongeBob SquarePants and a zillion other voices. And Tom read the script, said he'd do it, and he brought Jill in to do the voice of the wife as well.
Yeah, because, what's great, too, is, he does a reading where he's this happy-go-lucky Ice Cube, Chili, but when the main character, he starts going a little off the deep end, his mood changes. And he's constantly trying to say, "Oh no, I'm just an ice cube. Don't do this to me." And Buddy is just losing it, and it's a great play. And can you talk? The ice cube fits in the story, like the colors and everything, and the animation is so well. How did that play? Did you have a stand-in for him for the actor to play off of?
We did. It was very much an effects shoot where we shot the live action stuff in 2 days. And my art director, Darby O'Neill, who's also one of the producers with Ian Camacho, she basically built for me an armature, and I'd use that armature to, kind of get eye lines and for us to work out lighting and everything. And then we'd even give those as reference to Duncan's studio. It's, I hadn't never done sort of a VFX shot, but I'd read enough about it that I figured, all right, this is, how hard can that be, right? And then fortunately I'm surrounded by really talented people. Not only Duncan's studio doing the animation and the composite, but our gaffer, Brian Sorbo, came from visual effects himself. He had a background, and on that last shot, we ran into a little difficulty because, of course, our amazing stunt woman, Jill Brown, was in frozen water. I mean, it was just about
that was
freezing
real
water.
ice?
It was real ice water. She's, worked on Titanic, and, she's been a stunt woman for years, and she said afterwards, that was literally the hardest stunt I had to do in my 14 years. And, despite her best efforts in that cold water, like a finger would move or we'd see a little ripple. And Brian Sorbo took me aside afterwards and said, I might be able to help you. I've got some compositing skills, and maybe we can work out those glitches. And sure enough, he did some visual effects that just kind of make that look absolutely still there.
Oh yeah, I mean it's scary.
Yeah,
I mean, it really
is,
right? Because like I said, it takes a totally different tone that you would never expect. And so you mentioned earlier that you worked for Disney. What other backgrounds do you have as far as filmmaking? What intrigues you as a filmmaker? Is it just something strikes a chord with you and you decide to make it? Because Chili, I would never have the I don't know what am I looking for? Talent to think of that. And
well, it's definitely bizarre, and I don't know. I guess I'm a big fan of things that are a little more unusual or a little innovative, where I get excited by the idea. I'm a fan of Charlie Kaufman as a screenwriter, in part because of that. He'll find things that just have a little different approach. And as far as my background goes, I was like an animation nerd as a kid, and in fact, I'd go to the library, and I'm so old that it used to be like a card catalog instead of online. And I'd first look up animation in the card catalog, and I'd find all the animation books. And that eventually led to a job at Disney. But I had also done a computer science degree in college. And so half of the time I was in story, and then I was working on computers. And so anyway, I have sort of a technical background that kind of is where my career really went. Like I said, I animated briefly, but then jumped off that bandwagon after Beauty and the Beast. So it's sort of a mishmash of a career. Maybe that's why I like mishmashes of films.
and does that help you as directing, being from a technical background? Because you understand maybe shots better and what needs to be accomplished in a shot?
I think it does, although I think the best training I've had has been the other degree I did in college, besides computer science, was creative writing. And I think that's what's fueled my love, even when I've worked on movies that I really haven't liked, is it's always been about, like, how do we tell a story really well? And I found that as I've been working with all these friends who are so talented, is that all of us, I mean, the best people will bring all their amazing technical skills to just like, all right, now I think I know what's supposed to happen in the scene. How do we get that emotion across? And so, I guess when it's really working well, and it really was on Chili for us, all of our technical things just sort of recede into the background, and we're trying to, get that moment in the end where people are like, what the hell?
Yeah, when I was watching it and I saw the little trail of water, I was hoping that Chili escaped. And,
Do you know what? I blame Tom Kenny for that. He is such an engaging actor and such a great voice that I think we all are disappointed when Chili goes.
I was really sad.
It's a sequel
because he puts him in a coffin, for lack of a better word. And
I get the blame for Tom's charisma. It's terrible.
Killing an ice cube that didn't deserve it. He was just trying to help. He really was. Another aspect I thought was great about it too is it's only 5 minutes, and you get you mentioned it before, but is it hard to get someone to have that much emotion and bring that out in them in 5 minutes to tell the story of what happened? Because the voiceover for the wife doesn't come until the last minute, 30 seconds. And I knew his wife left him. And for some reason, I just knew that this is why this guy is distraught. Is that hard to accomplish in such a short amount of time, or do you find it liberating because it's so concise and you don't have to worry about it?
Well, it's difficult, but I think that's what really draws me to shorts too, is like you really have to be very meticulous about planning everything out. And this one was animation. Animation is always meticulous. But in a short, especially if you want to get it done quickly, you really have to start planning, like how am I going to reveal these pieces of information one after the other? We've been treating all these shorts as like practice for our feature films. Hopefully next year will be our first, and I think it's good. I think it's good training because, it just becomes kind of how do you solve a puzzle, and a feature will be a marathon, but I think it's the same sort of process.
So too, I guess in a short too, is the pace is it more important than in a feature, or is a feature the pace more important? Because I think sometimes in a short, you go in knowing it's a short. So if it's not paced properly, then it's horrible.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say any names, but last night there was one movie, it was 22 minutes. I'm like, this is like an hour and a half. I don't know.
It's torture.
It is. So is that something that you really have to worry about in a short?
I think especially so for short, exactly for that reason. I mean, nowadays we're watching them online, and I think personally we all have a tolerance for like, all right, I'll sit through this for a couple minutes. If you don't grab my attention, then I'm going to click over to this window, and so if anything, it requires even more attention to that. But I don't know. I imagine I have no idea at this point, but I think the same problem's going to exist for a feature. Best features I've seen, you'll give them the first 10 minutes to kind of warm you up, but you know that you're willing to do that if they've hooked you fairly early on. So I don't know. I'm hoping there's something I can learn from this sort of thing.
Well, I think you're on the right way because, I mean, the tone is set immediately. I mean, it's black and white. It has a film noir kind of feel to it. And then, I mean, like I said, the chili part is just, I think, the big hook in it.
Yeah,
because
it's so engaging.
Because the character, he's sad, but then this goofy ice cube just comes up, and I just can't help but beam over this movie because it's one I really wanted to see, and that it met my expectations.
And do you know what really means a lot to me is the fact that you actually felt that emotion at the end. I mean, one of the risks that I thought in this, and it's still very fun for me to watch with a live audience and like see how they respond. One of the risks is it goes from this sort of lighthearted, wacky, educational film thing to something that's pretty dark, and there are a lot of emotions an audience could feel about that. If you're successful, they feel like the way you did. But my fear was they're just going to be pissed off that you've gone from something that's really sort of fun, and you're like, wait, this was supposed to be such and such, and you've messed it up. But it's fun to see it with an audience because apparently people are willing to go along for the ride.
Was this the first time you saw it with an audience?
No, I actually have now seen it. I mean, with an audience of people that I don't know, which is a totally different thing.
Oh, yeah.
I think I've now seen it 5 or 6. It started catching on at festivals.
Cool.
And I'd love to reveal some of the big festivals it's getting into, but to me, it's been sort of a discovery of seeing the festival circuit. It played well at Fantastic Fest in Austin, where I'd never been before. And this festival has been a total discovery for me. I mean, I would come back in a flash. It's
awesome.
It's been really fun.
An excuse for Telluride anyway, but it's just it's a really fun festival.
Brad, did you have a question?
Yeah, you mentioned you're working on a full feature film. Is there anything you can tell us about that, or is it still kind of got to keep it under wraps?
Probably under wraps. I'm so bad at marketing. If I were better, I'd be plugging it right now. But, this is going to be another sort of shoestring, family friend money Kickstarter thing, and so the whole thing's sort of up in the air. And I don't want to jinx it by saying, it'll be out next Christmas and come see it at this point. It will be weird again to some degree. It's maybe a little more traditional, but it has sort of science fiction at its basis.
Did you write this one too?
Yes, I did.
So what do you get more joy out of, directing or writing? Or is the whole creative process something you enjoy?
That's it, actually. To me, I actually went to American Film Institute in screenwriting, and I discovered directing only afterwards, really. And to me, that's become the greatest joy, is actually seeing something you've written morph, and you doing the morphing, knowing where you want it to go, seeing the limitations, seeing the constraints, seeing all the opportunities of people you're going to work with and locations and all that sort of stuff, and making it all happen in the end. To me, the ride, I mean, it's exhausting. Even preparing just for those 2 days was exhausting, so I can't imagine a feature. But it's such a gratifying experience to have this sort of collective mind working on it. Our group, again, is called Collab, and we get, somebody will come up with a script, and then someone will shoot it, and somebody does craft services, and I don't know, it's the best way of sort of playing with grown-ups that I've had.
Is there a time when you've written something and you've had a voice in your head and how the character you would expect the character to play, and someone came in and just knocked it out of the park and was way better than you'd ever
Oh my God!
hoped?
Well, this is a case in point. I had thought of the Ice Cube voice, but it was sort of me doing a falsetto. And of course, when Tom Kenny comes in, it's like, wow! Now this is a living, breathing Ice Cube. And it was fun doing the session with him and Jill, just to see what pros they are. I mean, we only had think it was just 2 hours to record all that. Wow. And the first bit was just, finding his voice, and he, it's close enough and registered to SpongeBob that he kind of fell into that by accident and then found something else, and we kind of shaped something that really worked. And Jill as well, like finding somebody from that era. I'm not distracted. I don't remember what the question was.
Character finding a voice. That
Oh
you had
yeah,
in your
so
head.
Tom just brought it to life so much. And the thing about a great voice like Tom's, and I've worked with, where I've been on movies where there've been other great voices, but somebody like Tom's, then the animators get inspired. Like when Duncan Studio came in and did their animation, the foundation was already really laid for them. We had done a character model, and then they just, plus it even more. It inspires them to do really good work.
And I mean, yeah, it works because, you're right, because you can maybe hear a little SpongeBob in it, but it's just enough different where, I mean, I know who he is because, like I said, he's prolific.
Yeah.
And, but you hear it, and you're like, I know that guy. But I think that's a tribute to any voiceover actor, and I think that's why they're so much better than celebrities who come in and do it.
No, exactly, because they have such a range too. I mean, I could have gone even further away from SpongeBob, but this was engaging enough. It's amazing how prolific they are. Both Tom and Jill, Tom Kenny, Jill Talley. I was just up in Milwaukee for their film festival, and one of the films there was Everything is Beautiful, which I encourage you to see, Wayne White documentary. And Wayne has done, art direction for Pee-wee's Playhouse. He's done all sorts of stuff, and including he art directed a Smashing Pumpkins video called Tonight Tonight. And I met Wayne at the festival there, and as we were talking, it dawned on me, oh my God, you actually cast Tom Kenny and Jill as leads in that, or at least they were the leads in that production, as they are in Chile as well. So, yeah, it's he's so prolific that we even work together, and I don't even work. We even have people that work in commmen.
Yeah.
So I hope Chile comes back because it can be reformed.
We need a sequel.
Because, I'll just reiterate one more time. You should really see this movie because, the Ice Cube. It sounds silly, but his emotions are just amazing.
It's really fun. I've been amazed to find out how engaging Chile is. I mean, the sadist in me really did want to kill him off because I knew it would get a reaction. But people are so disappointed that this Frank, our lead, has killed off Tom, the Ice Cube, that I've had people come up to me afterwards saying, now, I wonder, is Chili in the bathtub, or is there any way that Chili is? Can you bring him back?
He didn't want anything bad to happen.
Sorry.
Well, if he just I didn't get to see it, but if he just evaporated, the sequel is how he
That's right.
precipitates.
We'll
and
go
then
into heaven and rain down,
and
circle of life.
in Alaska, so he freezes again.
We can maybe still the circle of life song and bring that in.
Every Ice Cube ends up with just a little bit of chili in it.
That's
right.
Oh, that's cute.
That is the heartwarming note I wanted you to have.
So is there a place online where we can find you and check out maybe trailers for other movies or check out your other short films?
Yeah, if you go to kohlab.com, KOHLAB.com, I think we have a website there. We're busy making stuff. As you can tell, I'm not very good at marketing and stuff, but when we get into our feature, there's going to be lots of stuff for that, and hopefully we'll be able to generate some interest that way as well.
Well, I think you're great at marketing. I was really engaged with what you had to say. Do you have something else, Brad?
No,
It's your interviewing skills, guys.
Thanks so much for stopping by. Your movie was
that was
amazing.
awesome.
Thank
It really
you so
was.
much. I appreciate it,
you.
Ryan. Thank you.
That was really good. Thank you. Thanks, Dylan, for stopping by. We found out that he worked for Disney, and he says, "Oh, I wasn't that important there."
I know.
And then when we talked to Raphael afterwards, he says, "No, dude, he invented all this stuff for." What did he do? Do you remember?
Yeah, but it was about the the CG kind of stuff that they were doing. Anyway,
it's important,
all,
and he downplayed it, but it's really important.
Yeah.
So you can check out all his stuff.
And just the fact, because he was so soft spoken about everything.
Yeah, and he was so nice.
He was at Disney for a long time, and has worked at all these other animation studios on big movies. When we had breakfast with him, he was telling us about it, and we're like, "Oh man!" And he just he's just cool about it.
He's whatever. That's what I did.
Yeah,
like it's nothing. You can go to kohlab.com. It's KOHLAB.com. YouTube.com/chili, and it'll tell you all about it. It's a tale of woe and modern refrigeration. You should definitely check it out. I remember when we got the program and it had just a little ice cube like waving. I said, I don't know what this is about, but it's a cute little ice cube in a horror festival. I want to see it.
Yeah.
And it's really cool, and it's dark, and you should check it out.
Yeah, see if there's ever going to be a showing near you, or if he ever does put it up online, just keep your eyes out. You know.
Yeah, and his film is Collab Films, and they have a bunch of guys who work for him, and he's really cool. He talks about how he set up. You just listen to it. He talked about how he set up shots, and I loved it.
Yeah.
So you should check it out. It's a little short.
Thanks,
Dylan. We appreciate it. Good guy.